Welcome back to my channel Grammar Gurus. Today is the edit on figures of writing. This edit aims to upskill you with the tools of writing so that you can make your literature or prose more elegant and fancier. Today's topic is idioms. This is in continuation with our previous lesson. Since you have already got an idea about idioms, today I shall be giving you the technical definition of idioms. So the definition of idioms is, idioms are a group of words or phrases with neither a subject or a predicate. Now, what is subject and predicate? Well, this concept also I have explained earlier in my video on spoken English, which is on translation from Hindi to English. You see, as we will advance further, I will draw references from my previous videos. Thus, you need to follow the videos very carefully in order to understand the lessons that will be coming in future. Yet, just to give you a quick recap, subject is the doer of the action. Predicate is the verb plus the object plus other words in a sentence. Now, let me explain this to you with the help of an example. Ramesh kicked the ball with great force. Here, the verb or the action word is kicked. Who is the doer of this action? Ramesh. He is the subject. Now, what is being kicked? The ball. That is, who is the sufferer of the action of kicking? The ball. Ball is the object. And these are the other words in the sentence with great force. Hence, this entire portion, Ramesh is the subject, verb is kicked, and this entire portion with the object and other words becomes the predicate. So, we noticed in the definition of idioms, I mentioned three very important terms. Firstly, idioms are a group of words or phrases with neither a subject nor a predicate. I explained you what is a subject, what is a predicate. Idiom has got neither of it. That is, idiom does not have doer of an action. Idiom does not have a verb. Idiom does not have sufferer of the action also. It is only a group of words or a phrase. In order to understand the concept of phrase clearly, let me first bring into your notice the difference between phrase and a sentence. What is a phrase? As I mentioned, phrase is a group of words but with incomplete meaning. In other words, the meaning of a phrase is not complete. For example, after the sunset. Why is after the sunset a phrase? We don't know what happened after the sunset. I ate, I slept, I played, I don't know. Thus, the meaning is not complete. Hence, after the sunset is a phrase. But suppose I say, he came to meet me after the sunset. Here, I can understand a complete meaning. That is a group of words which are giving me a complete meaning. Hence, a group of words which give you a complete meaning is a sentence. So, after the sunset is a phrase. He came to meet me after the sunset is a sentence. In this case, the meaning is not clear. In case of a sentence, the meaning is clear. So, from this discussion, what do we understand? Idioms are phrases, which means they do not have a complete meaning. They are not sentences. They do not have a subject. They do not have doer of any action. They do not have a predicate. That is, they do not have any verb or any object. So, idioms are just a group of words whose meaning is completely different from the literal meaning of each word. Thus, the technical definition of idiom stands a group of words or a phrase which neither has a subject nor has a predicate. Now, we shall move on to discuss few more idioms individually. In my previous video on idioms, I explained 6 idioms. Moving on, idiom number 7, sweet tooth. Does it really mean a tooth made of sugar? Well, of course not. What it actually means is love for sweet food, desserts, cakes, etc. So, how will we use this in a sentence? Sarah has a real sweet tooth. She is always eating candy. So, what are we trying to tell here? That this girl called Sarah loves to eat sweets, and thus we are calling her someone with sweet tooth. So, you see, I'll give you a simple trick of making sentences with an idiom. Never try to make small sentences. Usually, when you are using an idiom, your sentence will be divided in two parts. One part will be a sort of reasoning, and the following part will be the part where you will be stating the idiom, or vice versa. Moving on with the next idiom, a fish out of water. So, are we actually talking about a fish who has jumped out of water? Well, of course not. What it actually means is someone who is in a new or uncomfortable position or situation. For example, let's think of your first day in school. How do you feel that day? You feel little odd, you feel little shy, you find it hard to interact with people, even if it's in your corporate sector. So, we feel a little odd. In other words, we feel like a fish out of water. How will we make a sentence? On Annie's first day at her new school, she felt like a fish out of water. Now, viewers, moving on to the next idiom, beat around the bush. What do you think? Are we actually beating a drum or something around a bush? Well, no. What it actually means is to hold back information or to withdraw the truth, to not reveal the complete information. How will we use this? Rather than telling us the truth, Joey kept beating around the bush. जब हम एक्स्ट्रा बोलते रहते हैं बट हम टू द पॉइंट नहीं बोलते, वी डोंट कम टू द पॉइंट, वी जस्ट कीप टेलिंग लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स बट वी डू नॉट give the major point. That is called beating around the bush. Moving on to the next one, bury the hatchet. First, let us understand what is an hatchet. Hatchet is a small axe. So, are we talking about actually burying a small axe? No. What it really means is to make peace with your opponent. Opponent is your enemy. So, in simple terms, it means to stop fighting. So, for example, after arguing for 10 years, the two brothers decided to bury the hatchet. Means they decided to make peace with each other. They decided to stop fighting. So these are some very common day-to-day use of idioms where you can actually, in your mundane day-to-day life situations, you can make use of these idioms. Now I am going to give you a few situations in our day-to-day life where you can actually use idioms. You see, idioms is not just a theoretical concept. The more you bring it into your flow of conversation, the more will it enrich your vocabulary and communication. So let me just give you a quick, little bit of synopsis where you can use idioms. For example, when something is in full operation, जब कुछ भी एकदम अपनी तेजी अपनी रफ्तार में चल रहा हो, तब what can we say? In full swing. When you want to say something is ineffective, जब हम ये बताना चाहें कि कोई चीज का खास प्रभाव नहीं पड़ रहा है, what can we say? Null and void. When we do something at the last moment, जब हमारी प्राय ये आदत होती है that हम कुछ भी एकदम end minute करते हैं, what can we say? At the 11th hour. A learned person, कोई बहुत ही knowledgeable person, what can we say? Man of letters. Now you see, ये एक idiom है. If whether it is male or female, it is a he or a she, You have to say man of letters. आप ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते woman of letters. Because the idiom stands man of letters. It is for any learned person, male or female. A major part, जब हम किसी चीज में अपना बड़ा हिस्सा ले रहे हैं, then it's called lion's share. A wicked person, कोई जो आपके साथ अच्छा नहीं है, या कोई जो ग्रीड है, या अच्छा इंसान नहीं है, what can you call him or her? A black sheep. Moving on, any memorable day in your life, कोई भी यादगार दिन आपकी जिंदगी का, is called a red letter day. To give something in writing is to give something in black and white. To explain something in short, in brief, कोई सी भी चीज की summary is to speak in a nutshell. And to be in a comfortable place, जैसे आपका घर, it's a comfortable place, we call that a bed of roses. See, there are a lot of idioms. In my videos, I have tried to give you a nutshell of all of them. So, for understanding on more such idioms, kindly subscribe my channel, like and share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Oh yes, one more thing. I would want you to give me sentences this time of these 10 idioms. ये जो 10 situations I explained, and in this I gave you 10 idioms. So any 3 idioms, make sentences with them and write your answers in the comment section. I shall be glad to read all of them and shall be glad to have your responses. Also share your feedback with me for your liking or disliking on my videos. And till then, take care. Bye bye. Please be safe. Remember, daily dose, better prose.